We just implemented ICH E6R3 on April 1st, and we decided to do things a little bit differently this time. We have 3,000 clinical trials across Canada. We are a team of 10 inspectors, so we can cover maybe 2% of these clinical trials per year. What if there was a way to harmonize also within the industry and reduce the burden and
the Clinical Data Lighthouse, partnerships on the road to Vision 2030. So thank you. I'm here today with Myriam Salem from Health Canada National Compliance and Enforcement Supervisor, and I'm so thankful that you're here at our EMEA Conference. Let me start maybe to ask you a question about your day job and what you actually do. So in Health Canada, you have a clinical trials compliance program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So first of all, thank you, Ward. Thank you for the invitation. And I'll be more than glad to share the initiatives that we have under our clinical trial compliance program. The Canada landscape for compliant for clinical trials, we have approximately 3,000 clinical trials that are ongoing. And these, in a yearly basis, we do receive around 700 applications for clinical trials as well. Our team within Health Canada is constituted of 10 inspectors, but we cover all of Canada. And it's so from the west to the east coast. And we go everywhere to ensure that the safety of the participants and then eventually the reliability of the results. So our mandate is to promote and verify the compliance of the regulations in Canada.
And the theme of the European conference was bridging to the future.
Yes.
How do you make a connection, maybe one with the industry, but also too with other regulatory bodies? How do we make sure that there is consistent approaches there?
Well, that's a great question, especially right now, because we just implemented ICH E6R3 on April 1st of this year. And we decided to do things a little bit differently this time. So we are giving a 6 months transition period to our stakeholders. What we were thinking of doing is what we call compliance readiness inspections. So basically, inspectors will go and find the sites, go to the sites, to the sponsors, discuss with the QIs, the qualified investigators, the principal investigators, and make sure that they understand the cultural shift that ICH E6R3 is bringing, walk them through the process, identify maybe gaps or challenges for them to implement the ICH E6R3. And we just started this week, actually. We have an inspector on site because, as I mentioned, we have 3,000 clinical trials across Canada. We are a team of 10 inspectors, so it's where we can cover maybe 2% of these clinical trials per year. So our goal is to promote as much as possible compliance and ensure that we are decreasing as much as possible any non-compliance. So this is our way of trying to achieve that.
Thank you. It must be very, very helpful for also all your partners that you go to hear your perspective and what you expect.
Exactly, yes.
And so that might also help you to drive compliance in a very fast-moving world, because there's a lot of innovation, there's new technology. Is that also a way to add more transparency, that you get more from the industry, or do you have other means to look into innovation and technology specifically and what is happening?
I think as regulators, we're maybe a little behind the industry for anything related to technology, but when we're going and approaching the sponsors, approaching the industry, we have that open discussion, especially in that transition period, where we can discuss and get the feedback from the industry on what they are currently implementing and how, as regulators, we can maybe manage these, manage the expectations, manage the challenges, manage the risks maybe as well. So this is all part of that transition period where we're looking towards seeing what the future brings, and then at the same time bringing it back to Health Canada. And within our team, we're also looking to see, are there ways where we can also include that technology? But this is all in the works, I would say, right now.
Yeah, thank you. That's interesting because I can imagine how busy they are. And so building some of these technology and efficiencies within the regulations is probably just as important. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe a more off-the-cuff question, and feel free to say no. If you would have a magic wand or something, and you would say, if I could change this tomorrow forever, is there anything that you can think of either to create or potentially can we stop doing this now forever?
That's a big question. That's a philosophical question, and it's a lot of responsibilities on my shoulder to change with one thing. But what I would suggest is maybe, we say harmonize globally. We do work with our regulators, other regulators. We partner with industry. We partner with our internal teams as well. But what about the industry? What if there was a way to harmonize also within the industry and reduce the burden? And we've had a session during the conference where the theme was about reducing the burden and making sure that the sites, were able to conduct the clinical trial for the benefits of the patients without that burden. And I feel like the industry could also do their part where they can maybe harmonize the systems, harmonize or reduce the number of systems that is used in a clinical trial.
Thank you so much for that answer. And that's why we're here in society. And I'm so grateful that we have great partners like yourselves in the regulatory, because it's indeed true. We have to work together across companies. We have to work together across regions. We have to work together, pharma, technology companies, CROs. But I'm so blessed that we have regulatory voices that also steer us in the way in good clinical practice, because that's something we should never forget either. So I thank you so much for being here and for sharing your contributions.
Thank you, Ward. And I think that, to end on a note, we all have that common goal, is to bring these drugs to the market for the benefits of the patients, but at the same time, ensure that they're protected while they're going through the process. And so that's a shared common goal.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.